This is the Renaissance Men podcast, broadcasting live on YouTube and Twitch. Now please welcome your host, Stuart Garrard.
Good evening and welcome to episode 168 of the Renaissance Men podcast. I am your host, Stuart Garrard, and joining me to my left, wherever he is my good friend Jimmy the Sainter.
Hey, hello, my children. Hello, people of Earth. Hello, Stu. So lovely
Jimmy.
to be here.
Yes, here we are. I can't believe it's Friday night again. Where's that last week gone?
No. Do not know, but we are here. We are here. We made it.
Looked like I did a Nazi salute there, but I swear it wasn't. It was me going.
Hey, don't say you didn't, because there are a load of people that may watch the show. So don't alienate our Nazi viewers.
Might get some more viewers in.
Yeah, what the hell.
Yeah, welcome, Holly in the chat. Straight in there with the chat. Hello, Holly. Let me give you a salute. I hope you've had a great week. Hope you've all had a great week. Jimmy, have you had a great week?
I've had a great week. Thank you very much for asking, Stu. It's been lovely. I say it's been lovely. Sometimes we lie, don't we? We try and make it sound like it's been true. And to other people, I feel we should be honest, Stu, to other people, shouldn't we? And we should be honest on here, because so many celebrities aren't honest. They come on shows and they go, yeah, I live the best life, but everyone's got their stresses, and the next week they're doing something terrible. So, no, it's. I'll be honest. Where am I going with this? It's been a good week, Stu. It's been a good week. I'm just saying, I'm not showing off. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Right. Wasn't the answer I was expecting, but I'm glad you've had an okay week. I've had a grand week, an actual grand week. Great week.
I know you've had a grand week because I haven't heard from you.
I know, it's been great, isn't it? For you, probably. Hounding you for, I don't know, content.
Yeah.
Come on. Ideas, man. Come up with some ideas.
Far from it. But no, it sounded like you've had a lovely week, Stu. What have you been up to?
Oh, I've been to Centre Parks this week. Classic family holiday in the woods, amongst the trees and the, not deer. What are those little mini deers? They're not deers. What are they? Kind of smaller deers.
Fawns?
No, not a baby deer. It's what are they called? Someone in the chat will probably inform me. But
what's Mr. Tumnus? What's he?
He's a fawn, isn't he?
Yeah,
rats?
He's a fawn.
No,
yeah.
Rocky. Hello, Rocky. They're not rats. I didn't see any rats. Lots of squirrels. Obviously,
At Centre Parks. I thought Centre Parks was in a dome.
Oh, have you never been? Tell me you've been to Centre Parks. Oh,
no,
mate.
Never.
Oh, mate, you'd love it.
Kids, I'm not going there.
Well, it would be expensive for 100 kids, to be fair.
It's not that. It's just the stress of watching them all do their thing. It's better to keep them in their cages.
An eye on each 100 of your children just running about causing chaos.
Awful.
Yeah, awful.
What did you get up at Centre Parks? Oh, not tapirs, Brodie said. No, tapirs are those sort of really nice little elephant things.
Ah, yes, like a mini anteater.
Yeah, they're lovely things. They're lovely.
I have to explain things by miniaturizing them. That's how I can visual. Montjack. Thank you, Holly. Yes, straight in there with Montjack. Thank you.
Muntjack.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
I've never heard that name before.
Have you not? It's like I don't think they're quite deers, but they look deer-like.
Right.
They've got all the legs. They kind of look like they should have horns, but they don't. But anyway, lots of them, lots of squirrels, lots of birds, lots of wildlife.
This sounds lovely, Stu.
It's great, but it was expensive. And I like to try and keep costs down.
Yeah.
In life.
If it was up to you, you'd holiday in your garage, wouldn't you?
Yeah. That would be quite nice, actually. Yeah, probably get a extension lead out there, hook up the PlayStation.
Drag a couple of Muntjack in off the street.
Yeah. Just get them going. But no, it's a lovely week. Lots of families activities were had. We did some archery. That was nice. Benj excelled.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. I didn't think he would. Hand-eye coordination isn't great. Well, we've got to be honest. Hey, it's all about honesty this week.
Oh yeah, don't build your kids up too much.
No. So we did some archery. That was fun. Did some swimming. I had my flotation vest on. It was great. Got
'Cause you
that got
can't
its
swim?
annual airing. Once a year, I get in a swimming pool.
I bet it's covered in mold. You get it out, pat it down, it sort of puffs up with this grey-green smoke. Stinks of an old sandwich.
Well, you
Still
mentioned
good.
the garage. It had been in the garage for the preceding 12 months. So
Wow.
it was okay. There's a few, strange marks on there, but it was fine. Dusting down and off I went.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I do think that I should probably part of the reason I wear it is because I'm a bit obviously I can't swim, so that's the first factor. It helps me float. I understand we're naturally floating creatures anyway. We can
So
float.
they say.
Yeah, I don't trust people, but and also it hides my top half, which I'm not. I'm a husky man, so I don't like to show off my bits in public. My top bits, not my bottom bits.
I show my bottom bits off all the time. Was you naked? Was you doing a Donald Duck, naked from the bottom down?
Yeah, flotation vest and then nothing. Just screams were had in the tropical paradise. Where was I going with this?
No idea.
No, I have no idea.
Oh, your son on the archery. Chapow.
Oh, he was good. Yeah. The flotation vest. What else did we do? Just that's kind of it. We had a grand old time. Roggy went to the Bahamas, apparently.
Oh.
Well done, Roggy. Welcome, by the way.
Yeah, first I've heard about that, but
well, so no, I had a lovely time. Did some pottery painting as well. That's quite nice. Benj painted. Yeah.
I always think painting will just be very relaxing when you've got nothing else to do.
Right. When you're watching someone else paint, having spent having spent some money on the blank cup that he was painting, and he's painting it.
Badly.
I would have lied pretty badly.
Yeah.
You're thinking, I've paid 15 quid for that. Come on, make a better job. Come on, Benj. You're like smearing his hands over it with paint and stuff.
Do you know what I love? The fact that you've said to me in the past, the reason you do these podcasts is so that when Benji's older, he's got something to look back on when you've passed over to wherever we go, and he's going to watch this and just see all the digs, all the digs that he didn't know, and that will just hit him down. He'll turn into what he would have been if you would have been honest with him through his life.
Chipping away, it's his self-confidence. I love you really, Benj. But yeah, it is. Other than that, it's been a pretty, it's you do quite a lot. You pack quite a lot in your time because you're on holiday and you want to make the most of it. So you're doing quite a lot each day. So it's quite tiring. That's all I'll say. It's quite tiring.
Well, you seem energized. You seem fresh. Your skin looks good. You
Thanks.
seem happy.
Am I glowing?
Yeah, big time. Coming from Roggy, saying I didn't ask.
That's how it works. You have to ask every day whether they're on holiday.
Whether they're gone to the fucking Bahamas.
Yeah.
Do you know, he tells me he's skint, so why would I rub it in every day by going, you gone to the Bahamas yet? You poor person. Harsh. Well, Roggy, I hope you had a good time in the Bahamas.
Yep. Have we missed anyone else in the chat? I don't think so. I think that's it.
Yeah,
if you are around, then do say hello. Welcome as always. Jimmy, did you want to elaborate on your week, or was it that? Is that just it? You just done?
No, I work. I mean, work, drinking, work. Like, it's been a busy week. One thing that I thought was hilarious. I thought was funny. I mean, not fun is funny, but some well-to-do friends of mine went to a place in London called The Box. I don't know if you've heard of The Box before.
No, it sounds like a nightclub of some sort.
Yeah, it's a sort of clubby sort of place. Jude Law owns it. Now, I went to The Box when I was in New York with friends, with Joanna Lumley and Mark Rylance. They didn't come to The Box, but the person who took us to The Box, interesting enough, Stuart, was Ariana Grande's brother.
Okay.
Frankie. Yeah. He took us to The Box and he paid because it's fucking expensive. Anyway, they have acts And one of the acts that the two acts I remember, because I was a little bit worse for wear. One was I don't know how to describe them. I'm going to say a they, because they had their cock out and tits. And they were dressed as a butcher, covered in blood, chopping up body parts.
Okay, not Pat.
Pat Butcher, yes. Covered in blood, chopping up body parts with her dick and tits out.
Okay.
Another thing that we saw, I say thing, that's rude. Another act that we saw was a lady who was dressed like you when you swim. She had a top,
a flotation vest, and nothing below,
but no bottoms.
Oh, lovely.
And she put googly eyes at the top of her vagina, and she was singing wonderful opera, but with a camera on her the JJ, which was projected on a big screen.
Yep.
So as she sang, she was opening the lips of her vagina, making it her puppet, and it was singing this opera. So these were the things that I saw. Now, some of my friends took their well-to-do wives to the box with them not knowing what sort of thing they were expecting.
Oh, yeah. How did this go down?
Well, one of my friends told me about it. So I bumped into his wife and purposely went, "Hey, I heard you went to the box. How was the box?" She's like, "Oh, Jimmy, I don't even know what I saw. A man with the biggest penis I've ever seen getting tossed off. A woman spraying things out of her vagina. What else? There was a little person in there that my husband kept tripping over. It was the weirdest conversation. I was so enjoying just tweaking out little bits from her, bless her, because she's such a lovely lady. But it really threw her. But that's the box. If anyone's out there and wants to go for a really interesting trip, it will cost you about the same amount as Center Parks for one night. But you'll see the oddest things there as the acts. But yeah.
Wow. There we go. So welcome, Neil. You've joined us at a moment. Jimmy, explain what the box is.
I think one woman put a funnel inside her, and the chap poured stuff into that. By the sounds of it, sounded like Ribena, traditional. Right. And then she hovered out on a table and squirted it all in the air.
See, are they claiming that that's art? Is this performance art, or is it just an excuse to be a bit bawdy? You know what I mean? Are they going for the shock value more? Because that, to me, that's ridiculously over the top, and there's, it's not for me.
Art is in the eye of the beholder.
I agree, but yeah, I can't argue it, can I? Fair play.
No, you're right. It's gratuitous. That said, I told my wife about it. She said, "That sounds hilarious. We should go."
Let's go.
So if anyone wants to support us on Ko-fi and send me and the wife to the box.
Segue. Yes.
That would be really useful.
Well, yeah, Jimmy, there are a number of ways that people can support us, just by watching the show here and on Twitch is doing us a great service. So thank you for that. Of course, you can also head over to twitter.com follow us over there at RenaissanceCast /RenaissanceCast, I should say, to get involved with the conversation. We also have a Ko-fi, ko-fi.com /RenaissanceCast. If you do want to donate us £3 for us to buy a coffee or get us to the box, a live stream live from the box. I'll take my own Ribena if you like.
I can get that. I'll do the Ribena.
Yep. Happy days. There we go. So if you do, and of course, if you're watching, do give us a like and subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please do.
We love subscribers. We love them.
We're close to 350, so let's get a push to 350. Come on, push. Oh dear. But enough of our weeks. I assume you've got nothing else to say. Is that it?
No.
We're done.
Cool.
It's done. Let's see what our audience are asking us in our segment that's aptly titled "Ask Us Anything." Here we are. Ask Us Anything, where our audience submits questions that me and Jimmy try our best to answer. And we've got a lovely one from Mostly Martinez, friend of the show.
Stu,
Go on,
just before you carry on,
Go on.
sorry, lovely comment in the comment section. I
Have I?
presume it's based on our vagina chat squirt funnel.
Oh, yes.
I'd always recommend that, Neil. Don't listen to us with
God, yeah.
children about.
No.
We're nice, but we sometimes say gratuitous stuff.
Oh, we do. Yeah. This is like we are the box of the internet. No, we're not, are we? Yeah.
No, yeah. Later on, I'm going to squirt Ribena out of my butt.
Cool. Mostly Martinez asks us a lovely question, and it's quite pertinent for this week, considering what's been going on and what we've been watching and stuff and such. He asks, it's a two-pronged question, really. He says, do you think all original series shows, so shows like The Last of Us, Mandalorian, high budget production shows, should all have 1 hour episodes? With all the money going into these shows like Rings of Power and House of the Dragon, should fans also expect episodes of 1 hour?
Cool, that's a good question,
isn't it? Particularly as Mando episode 1 came out this week and was only 25 minutes, it felt like.
No, it must have been longer because mine and John's watch along was 20 minutes.
I don't think it was much longer than the show itself.
Yeah, he didn't shut up. Oh, well,
there was a lot of preamble on that, and we'll talk about that later. But there was preamble and there was end stuff. So the bits that you condensed down, I think probably it's about the same time. So
I would say in the past, I loved it when shows were an hour. I'd go, how long? It was like Game of Thrones. Back in the day when they were just not starting, but this was the new trend of these long episodes. And if it was like, oh, it's a 58-minute, and then Game of Thrones got to the point when they were doing like an hour and 20-minute episode, like, whoa, it's an hour and 20, brilliant. Yeah. Now I'm at the point where I would go, less is more. Yeah. Because so many shows don't have the ability to write that much. Game of Thrones managed to do it because they had so much source material and script already.
Agreed.
Yeah. Whereas now I would say do 30. I want it all released at once.
Okay.
If it's being released week by week, yeah, sure, give me 50 minutes. But if it's coming out all at once, make them shorter. So
I get what you're saying. I'm kind of got. I mean, two kind of main thoughts from me are, having started the process of rewatching a lot of Marvel stuff and getting to the TV shows. It's probably something we haven't had to deal with before, because you just do the movie. You used to be able to just do the movies up to Endgame. Jobs are good. And now after Endgame, you have to go into the TV shows like your WandaVision and whatever.
Yeah.
And rewatching those, if that's what you want to do to catch up, or kind of just do a watch through like I'm doing, if they're an hour long, that's quite an investment.
Yeah.
So I'm for the purposes of rewatching stuff, I want them to be quite short episodes. I think my overriding thought is I wish there was some consistency in the length of episodes. A lot of the time on Disney, you'll get 30 minutes. Next episode, an hour. Third episode, 22 minutes. Fifth episode, 2 hours. There's no. I need to know what
it is.
What I'm signing up for.
I know. Yes, Stu. That's a bloody valid point, because remember when we used to all tune in for sitcoms like Bottom or Red Dwarf or whatever, or Partridge? You go, I know I've got half an hour, and I'm looking, and especially if it's on 1 or 2, I'm getting 28 minutes or whatever, 29 minutes. So you were excited about that time that you were going to get,
and you could book it into your evening.
But I've heard TV showrunners or showmakers who talk about streaming and go, the brilliant thing about streaming is we're not constricted to that. We don't have to worry about when the next show is going to start or what's going on. So we've got the benefit that we can put out a 30-minute show or a 20-minute show, and then we can bring out. So for them, they love it, because they might not be bothered to write as much that week.
Yeah.
So I understand it from them, but I'm with you. Consistency is nice, and if one's short, you feel hard done by.
I think particularly if you're releasing one a week,
Yeah.
I think if you're doing that, then I think for me, I'd prefer it to be like equal times for each episode, because
Yeah.
like you say, if you're rocking up one week and you've been really looking forward to it, the previous week's episode was an hour, and then you come to this week and it's only 30 minutes, you do feel shortchanged. You think, oh,
Yeah.
okay. And I think that feeds into your opinion of the show. You think, oh, I feel a bit let down because they haven't given me as much this week.
Yeah. So consistency on times, whatever that may be, is your thing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be to the minute, but like if you're watching a 45-minute show, 45 to 50, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Not
for me,
30,
it's
whatever. Yeah.
For me, it's if I'm watching it week by week, give me up to an hour.
Mhm.
If I'm watching it all at once, make it shorter.
We don't want much, do we? We're not hard to please.
To be honest, I just want films back. I'm sick of TV shows. I really am. Because you can tell that they spread things out, like the new Picard series. I'm going to talk about it later. But first episode, I loved, but nothing happened. Yeah. Mando, first episode. We could talk about this later. I enjoyed it. Nothing really happened. So they have to. That's the problem with these 10-episode arcs. They have to stretch everything out.
Yeah, that's true. That is true, and that seems to be an inevitability in today's streaming age, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. But thank you for the question, Martinez. Hope you're well. Go and check out Mostly Star Wars. His podcast. They talk about Star Wars, so they're probably going to be talking about Mandalorian. As it's come back, and they are talking about Bad Batch as well. I noticed that this week, so go check them out on YouTube. Lord Doolan is in the house. Hello, Lord Doolan. Welcome. And also Neil has come back and said, my son was trying to hypnotize himself from a YouTube video. That sounds wildly dangerous. So he doesn't think he heard us being our controversial topic of conversation. So that's
crikey.
Good in the sense that he didn't hear us, but bad in the sense someone's trying to hypnotize him over YouTube.
I thought it was actually true. Is that true? Was he trying to hypnotize? YouTube and TikTok, these are worrying times, aren't they? Just worrying times.
Yep. The world's in crisis.
Still, stay tuned for the YouTube hypnotist.
Oh dear. Not a question, but just a comment from Ben Doomslayer Wyatt, who probably may join us later on in the evening from the good old Australia.
Wrestling extraordinaire.
He is. He came on a couple of weeks ago whilst we were talking about
comedy.
What's his name? Yeah, who's
Michael McIntyre?
No. Not going out.
Lee Mack.
Lee Mack. Yes, thank you, Jimmy. So Ben had discovered Lee Mack and wanted to get some good Lee Mack content. So we suggested he go and watch Would I Lie to You? And Ben came to me on Twitter and said that he has finished series 14 of Would I Lie to You? So, and he
from one?
I don't know. He didn't clarify that. I did wonder if he has. That's impressive. He says, I finished all of season 14 of Would I Lie to You? So thanks for the recommendation, is what he said to us. So I thought that was a lovely point.
That's good. I'm glad he watched it. Great show, Would I Lie to You? Comment in the comment section from a future guest on the show, Stu.
This one here?
Adam Howden, Side Salad.
Hello, Side Salad. Yes. I only know you as Side Salad. Hello, Side Salad.
So Side Salad is a video game voice actor extraordinaire, famous for things like Dragon Age, Tintin. He was Tintin in the game. You look at his IMDb, he's done every flipping game there is, the Star Wars games. And look, he sent us a wonderful little extra question there, Stu.
Yes, do you boys miss Gina Carano in Mando? No. I liked how they kind of just
wrote her off.
Yeah, but they didn't kill her off. So,
no.
So there was that. They just said, "Oh yeah, she got promotion. Yeah, she's off doing other things. Yeah, it's fine."
Yeah.
So
for anyone who doesn't know, Disney fired her for her political beliefs.
What were they? Because I can't remember. Did you say something controversial? What was it?
I wouldn't say she was that controversial.
Okay.
people were on at her to put her pronouns on
Right.
her Twitter, and she didn't know why people were chasing her for
Right.
it. And eventually, she put her pronouns as beep. I think it was beep bloop blop or something like that.
Cool.
And I think she also shared
That it?
some. She shared some right wing things, but they were political views. You know, everyone's got their views. I'd recommend anyone in the
Nazi manifestos, that
in
kind
the
of thing.
Nazi world. No, she didn't even do that.
Okay.
Any actors shouldn't share their political views online because you alienate 50% of your audience.
I know. What are you doing?
It's ridiculous. It's the stupidest thing you can do. But she did, and because it didn't agree with Disney's views, they fired her. You know, not a big loss. Salad. To answer the question, I don't. It doesn't bother me that she's gone. I didn't grow attached to her in any way.
And I'm glad. I guess I'm just glad they didn't ignore it and just, wanted it to go away. They acknowledged her previous existence.
Yes.
In the Mando universe, and they explained where she now was. So for me, that's all you needed. Move on. Move on with your life.
I agree.
Everyone just move on. Move on. Roggy says she did say some stupid shit.
Roggy, if you can give us some examples in the chat, just pop the links in the.
Just be careful.
She said she was persecuted worse than the Jews or something. Don't say or something. Don't come with. No, that's as bad as misinformation. Actually, bring the information, Roggy. Well, I'm going to quote you. No, you Google it. You Google it. Unbelievable. But yeah, Side Salad, Adam Howden, future guest on the show. We're going to have him on the show because he is a big gaming, voice gaming actor and an actor. He's been in TV shows as well.
Yep.
Doctors, for example, played a transvestite.
Oh. There we go.
A secret transvestite.
Hello, Carl. Only 50% of audience alienated. The others like a little bit of casual Nazi propaganda. We're going to get taken off, aren't we?
I think more than 50% like... Oh, Nazi propaganda. Tough. What do you mean by that, Carl?
Only 50% of audience alienated. The others like a little bit of casual Nazi propaganda. I think we move on.
Just say we move on.
Like Gina Carano, let's just move on. Move on. But Ben, thank you for saying. Well, it's our pleasure to give you the recommendation to go and watch Would I Lie to You. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Anyone want any recommendations? We are the boys to come to.
Yeah,
really.
Apart from Nazi propaganda.
No, let's just move on.
Forget about it.
The whole Nazi.
Hornet's nest.
Yes. Oh God, we're gonna. Oh Christ, this is a segment to go on to, isn't it? Right, Jimmy, Mr. Ideas has come up with an idea that he wants to tackle the latest hot potatoes, cultural hot potatoes, and he wants to talk about. No, it's unfair for me to say he wants to talk about. We're going to talk about like the biggest news story of the day of the week. Is that
the week? Yeah, I think. Have you done a sting for it?
I haven't. No.
Okay, so I thought you were building up to the sting. That's why I wasn't saying.
I wasn't.
Yeah, I just think we're missing out on not broaching some subjects that happen in the week that people are gonna search for, and we want them to fucking watch us. So I thought it was worth bringing to attention the weekly, the big story of the week. Yeah.
We don't feel we have anything to add to conversation. We just want to pimp ourselves out for views.
Yes.
Is essentially what's going on here.
Yeah. We'll have some really uneducated thoughts.
But we're going to talk about, and this could go wrong. We're going to talk about Harry and Meghan. And in particular, a two-pronged attack here is both their appearance and the fallout from their South Park. I say their South Park appearance, but
yeah,
South Park's aping of them, and then the story that came out, I think it was this week, saying that King Charles is trying to oust them, or has asked them to leave their royal residence.
Frogsmore. I think that was yesterday, Stu. We're hot on the topic, mate. It's a hot potato.
Okay. I didn't know it was that.
Yeah,
that recent. Oh, this really is a hot potato.
Oh yeah.
What do you want to tackle first? Do you want to?
Let's do South Park.
Okay. I'm going to key up this this video that you've provided me. So,
well, I've provided a video. So while you do that, Stu, I'll just explain. South Park recently did a spoof take on Harry and Meghan, talking about the royal family, going on the TV shows, and they've made them Canadian because, correct me if I'm wrong, Stu. I think I'm wrong. Canada don't share a royal family, do they? I know some countries do, but I don't think Canada do they?
Yeah.
Australia do, don't they?
No, Canada in the Commonwealth, aren't they? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she's head of state of Canada, yeah.
Right.
I believe.
So they've made them look like the Canadian people as well, and because the Canadians have got the flappy mouth. So they've tried to avoid it. I think they've tried to be a little bit careful, but not too careful. Matt Stone and Trey Parker. But it's about Harry and Meghan and their privacy and what they want.
Okay. I haven't seen it, so I'm looking forward to what all the controversy is about. So let's.
It's not 3 minutes long. It's repeated, just so you know. Because
okay. I'll keep an eye out for that. Let me just tweak the volume because it does go loud.
We want privacy. We want privacy. Live from the television studios in Toronto, it's Good Morning, Canada. It has been several months now since our beloved Queen has died. All Canadians are finding it hard to go on. All Canadians, that is, except for our first guest, the Prince and his wife. We want privacy! We want privacy! All right, thanks for having us on the show. It's so awesome to be here. It's great. So let me start with you, Sam. You've lived a life with the royal family. You've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it in your new book, Where? That's right, Sam. You see, my wife and I are totally like, you should write a book because your family's like stupid, and then so are like journalists. So you hate journalists. That's right. And now you wrote a book that reports on the lives of the royal family. Right. So you're a journalist. We just want to be normal people. All this attention is so hard. Isn't it true, sir, that your questionable wife has her own TV show and hangs out with celebrities and does fashion magazines? What are you suggesting? Well, I just think some people might say that your Instagram-loving wife actually doesn't want her privacy. How dare you, sir? My Instagram-loving wife has always wanted her privacy. And you know what else? To hell with Canada. We are leaving. We'll go find some quiet place where we can be normal people. Come on, wife. We want privacy. We want privacy. We want privacy. We want privacy. We want privacy.
Is this repeating now?
no, it's still going. Oh, I don't know.
Oh no, there you go. They're in India.
We want privacy. Because we need some privacy. We want 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 privacy. We want.
Okay, so they're going to go to South Park, I assume. Yeah. Okay.
I was wrong. They repeated.
Because we want some privacy.
I'll leave it there. Okay, and they're allegedly suing over that appearance. Is that right? Did I read that right?
Apparently, they're
that?
suing. This is popping up on every news outlet, like everyone, Fox, all the top ones. They're all already they're sitting on the fence. People are showing it. So I thought, why aren't we showing it and getting those viewing figures? But
yes,
it does fit in with, does the past still make us laugh? Does South Park still make us laugh? That did make me laugh. South Park getting in on Harry and Meghan. It really hammers home a small point, doesn't it, of that sort of privacy business? Because that did seem to be a thing, though. We don't want to be involved. They did say we just want our privacy, and then went on Oprah, and then did their Netflix series, and then he's written a book, which has some very derogatory stuff about his family in there. So it's quite a hot potato, Stu.
It is. I'm just trying to formulate my thoughts on both Harry and Meghan, because I think, bless her, Meghan, I think she has been horrendously treated by a lot of the mainstream press in our country. I do think there is, or was, an agenda, or probably still is, to be fair, an agenda against her. For whatever reason, I think you can probably draw some conclusions as to why there is an agenda against her. But and I get what people are saying about they're being hypocritical, asking for privacy, but then going out and courting, publicity on certain avenues.
Interviews.
But I think there is a difference, because I think they're controlling that, aren't they? And I think that's fair enough. They're going out and they're taking control and doing what they want to do. And I think there's a difference between that and, having paparazzi outside your house, taking photos with massive lenses and, invading your privacy. I think there is a difference to be made there between someone invading your privacy and them going out and courting it and controlling it and controlling the message. So I think that's a bit harsh what South Park have done. But on the other side, I'm going to sit mainly on the fence here and say I agree with both sides. No, but I generally side with how what Meghan and Harry and what the difficulties they've been through, and I think that's what I think. Have I said what I think? That's what I think.
Yeah, I think you've sided with Meghan and Harry.
Yes, I do. Yeah, generally I do, but I can see the other viewpoint.
Well, yeah, it's hard. Do you know what's easy? Playing devil's advocate. If someone agrees on either side, you can question them and make them back down. It's easy to be the person questioning. Like if I question you now, I imagine I can push you to the other side.
Yeah, quite easily.
But if you would have gone on the other side, I imagine I could have questioned you and pushed you to the other side, because it's such a big topic and so complicated. Like if you put yourself in that, like if my wife, came into my family and they didn't make her feel welcome, and they were a very big family and meant to be one of the most respected families in the world, and I was part of that for a long time, and I was given a lot of privilege for that, and I was a millionaire and all of those things.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think I'd go out into the world and slag them off and call them out for being racist and, all these different things, making them sound very bad. Like his book, he makes them sound very, very bad. He doesn't make them sound good at all. Whether they're bad or good or not, for me, if it was my family, I'd probably stick by them. Not saying that I'd not stick with my wife. I'd probably just leave and go, me and my wife are off. Thank you very much.
Okay. You wouldn't. So what you're saying is you wouldn't kind of like stick the boot in. You wouldn't call it out.
I wouldn't stick the boot into my 100-year-old nan. No.
No, really.
Would you?
I'd be right. Yeah, yes, I would. I'd be right in there saying, look, this is my wife.
Yeah.
Don't do this. If you want me to be a part of this family, she is a part of this family. Don't go disrespecting her.
But that's fine to leave. But what you'd go on Oprah and say, yeah, they were doing all of this and that and the other.
If I strongly felt that there was, malice behind it, I would do everything in my power, I think, to call that out. I'd maybe, deal with it internally a bit more, So, I mean, it's a very different scenario, isn't it? It's the royal family. It's,
Well, exactly. The damage it can cause, not just to your family, but to like politically, the nation, the country's relationships with other countries, and how other people respect the country.
I think the difficulty is everybody's got an opinion about the royal family, haven't they? And when people are, just willy-nilly throwing out their narratives into the mainstream media, then the only way that you can combat that message is to use the same methods. Go on Oprah, write a book, use the media to your advantage, because that's what they've done. You should do the same. And
but the royal family weren't going out on social media or anything saying anything about Harry and Meghan.
True, but the press were, and the press were peddling these stories and these opinions that allegedly have been. I don't know. Yeah,
I know you mean it's complicated. For me, I'd probably get with my family and try. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes families are too unreasonable and you can't. But I'd like to think I would try and get my family and work it through and then do a thing together. Where you go, let's get through this. Okay, this isn't going to work.
Fuck you.
I know the stuff you said about your family, Stu, on this show has been horrendous. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't, and that's my truth, Stu, because my family are lovely. Like even though they'd say some things sometimes, if anyone said anything bad against them, I'd slit their throat.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I think how can you say that on one hand and then on the other hand say you would side with them almost if there was a scenario where they'd said something about your wife? I think you've got to have one or the other. I don't think you can have it both. You can't have your sandwich buttered both ways, Jimmy.
I think
if it isn't, it should be.
I think quite often as a married cisgendered man, you stand between your wife and your family quite a lot. I think there's quite a lot. There's mother-in-laws or grandparents or whatever. There's always that sort of, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Don't worry. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. Quite often families protect their sons a lot more than they do their daughters, which is a terrible thing.
Do you think so?
I think so. I think, our precious boy, our precious little boy. I think certainly mums, I think, can protect them so much and won't hear a bad word against them. That said, this is a complicated scenario because obviously Harry's mum passed away, so he's got all of that. Passed away, she didn't pass away. He was fucking run off the road by the Queen. He's got all of that. What? That's the rumor. Oh, that's what Harry's saying. He's not saying that. But they've got all that to deal with as well, haven't they?
In the car behind, bloody
like wacky races. It's a really complicated thing. I don't mind South Park doing that because I think you can poke. They're not poking fun at his misfortunes. Really, they're just saying they've said they want privacy and they're going on all the shows. Yeah.
Oh, it's funny, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Got a chuckle out of us and about 10 minutes worth of content. Happy days.
Boom. But, hot potato.
Yeah, well, do we? Let's end it there. We was going to mention the eviction, but
no, do because that's still part of the hot potato.
Oh, okay. Well, so what is? So has King Charles formally asked them to leave their royal residence in the UK?
They have received eviction notice from the palace.
That's harsh, isn't it?
From Frogsmore Cottage, it's called, or Frogsmore House. Yep. They've received eviction saying that you're no longer welcome here. And now, F the
Royals. Spoken like a true Aussie.
He's probably related to one of them, just doesn't know. The house has been given to Prince Andrew.
Oh!
I know, they're really fucked up. Because
God, no way.
All the people who hate Harry and Meghan, when they took it away, they would have gone, yeah, and they go, and I'm giving it to a guy who lies and sleeps with youngsters.
That's as an optic, that looks horrible, doesn't it? If you're looking on the outside in and you're seeing what they've done there, well, let's take it off Harry, this lovely young mixed race couple, and let's give it to the paedophile. That's what allegedly.
Hey, allegedly. And as far as I know, she was 17.
Okay, so all above board.
In the UK, it is. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, in other countries, it's not.
Just right? the trafficking issues, perhaps. I don't know.
Well, yeah, he was on Epstein's Island, and there was, I mean, my favourite interview of all time is
the sweat
with Andrew, isn't it? Yeah, the sweat one. And was like, it would be ungentlemanly gentlemanly of me not to go and see my friend who's a registered sex offender and we can no longer be friends and then stay with him for the weekend. That would have been ungentlemanly of me. Yeah. So they fucked up there.
Yeah. I mean, I think if they'd have just evicted them, you could kind of see, because they're not active working royals anymore. So, you know, you can, okay, that's fair enough. You know, they're not active royal members of the royal family. That's, you know, a part of the royal estate, if you like.
Mhm.
They need to move out. They're moving on. We're moving on. Fair enough. But to give it to Andrew.
What stupid idiot. They're just a joke now, aren't they? Any dignity is left now the Queen has gone.
Yeah. She was the glue holding it all together.
Yep. They're a joke. They're a joke. Yep. Well, there you go. That's the hot potato. I think we've I think
we've added something to the general discourse of that topic.
I agree.
Hot potato. There'll be a sting somewhere down the future, along the line.
Yeah. Comment from Neil in the comments.
Oh, sorry, Neil. You've had this has been up here for some time. I think it's mad for artists to be political. I remember the band Passenger made an anti-Trump song and so could no longer sell to half of America. Yeah.
That's what I mean. I think when Carl, who said Jimmy said 50% of the audience were alienated.
Oh, okay.
I didn't mean, that's a bad thing. I just meant if you're trying to appeal to if your job is to sell yourself, you want to sell yourself to as many people as you can.
Mm-hmm. So sit on the fence as much as you can. That's our motto. Yeah. So there we go. I think Ben's got it right. F the Royals. Are you a royalist, Jimmy? I probably have asked this, but are you a Republican?
I did really I've said this time and time again on the show. I really like the Queen.
Listen.
No, it's fine. I really like the Queen.
Yeah.
But I like any old woman.
Okay. Right.
Not in a sexual way.
Okay.
But if you see a little old woman storming down the streets with her shopping or whatever, or pulling a basket, you go, go on, girl.
Yeah.
Still kicking on. And she kicked on for a long time. People go, oh yeah, she got her ass wiped and stuff like that. Like, she's still a little old lady, so I liked her. But now that she's gone, I feel like the royal family's done.
It died with her. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we've got a coronation coming up in a couple of months of King Charles, and it just doesn't feel real to me anymore. I think maybe for the next generation growing up with a king, it might feel real to them, but to me, it's like it's done. It's over.
Mm. Saying that, 3 Mondays off in May, so that's pretty damn good. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
I'm going to say welcome, Ben. Sorry, Ben, we didn't kind of acknowledge you coming in the chat. Hello and welcome. And I mentioned your comment earlier, so lovely to hear that you've discovered Would I Lie to You?
Yes, keep watching it.
Keep watching me. What we wanted to ask is, have you watched episodes 1 through 14, or was it seasons 1 through 14, or just season 14? I think it's 1 through 14. Good on you. To do that in 14 days, that's pretty good.
Yeah. He's ignored every friend, every family member, and every phone call.
Right, let's move on, Jimmy. And let's see what we can get up to in our week in Geek. Here we are. It's where Jimmy and myself go through what we've been watching, playing, reading, doing, and some of the lesser hot news potatoes. Yeah, these are like the French fries. Yeah. I'm going to kick things off, Jimmy, because I watched something wonderful this week whilst I was on holiday.
Do it.
I took my away, so I had the comforts of home with me, because I think you've got to have that with you when you get away. I always like to have a little home comfort. So I had access to Disney Plus, and I watched Lightyear.
Right.
Yeah. Now, had you watched this? Have we discussed this before on the show?
No, haven't watched it, haven't seen it, heard mixed views.
I absolutely loved it.
Right.
Brilliant. I thought it was excellent. Excellent. So this is, I just love the concept of it. So at the very start of the film, they say, Buzz Lightyear was a toy created to market a film in 1995. This is that film. So that's how they frame it. This is like the film that the Buzz Lightyear toy came from.
Right.
So that's immediately I'm thinking, oh, this is very clever. I'm in. I'm sold. And I thoroughly loved it. I don't know. I think I had more of a nostalgic love for Buzz Lightyear than I actually thought I ever had. I mean, I love Toy Story. Who doesn't like Toy Story? But I'd always kind of sided with Woody because, Woody's just a cool character. And Buzz Lightyear always, to me, felt like a bit of an arrogant prick.
Yeah.
I guess he's a fish out of water in that first film, but he's so stubborn. He just won't believe that he's a toy. So I never really kind of gelled with Buzz, but for some reason, this film just kind of sang to me. Very kind of clever in how it's framed, like I say, and that the plot itself is quite trippy in a way. It's not like your usual kind of kiddie fare. There's a lot of time travel elements in there. So I could imagine younger kids getting quite lost in what's happening. Yeah, I won't spoil the ending, but it's very Planet of the Apesy in a way.
Wow.
It's quite the twist at the end, and there's a lot of time travel elements in there, and so the main kind of premise is the Buzz is part of is it Star Command? I think it's Star Command, isn't it?
Yeah.
They are out on a mission, and he crash lands on this kind of barren planet, and then he has to try and they lose most of their tech, so they kind of have to restart again. And they kind of build like a little civilization. They start to survive and kind of flourish on the planet. In the meantime, they're trying to find a way and Buzz is trying to find a way to leave the planet by getting their ship up to light speed. And they have certain crystals that do this. So he's every time he makes a run to get his ship up to light speed, because the way that time works when he's doing his run, if you like, he comes back after a failed attempt to get his ship to light speed, and I think it's like 4 or 5 years have passed. So every run he's doing, all the people he loves and he knows all around him are aging.
Wow, Stu, don't say anything more about that film. You're really selling it to me.
It's really good, mate. I think you'd like it. Whether your kid, whether younger kids would like it, I don't know. Benj really enjoyed it, and so he could get past a lot of the like time travel elements. It looks beautiful. I think it's probably the most stunning looking.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get a trailer up as I kind of speak about it.
I know nothing. I know nothing about it. All I saw was the controversy. The controversy that came with it. One being that I believe there's a gay character in it or whatever. But don't tell me that because I don't want any surprises. Like that's a big flipping deal. And the other thing was that obviously it's not Tim Allen doing the voice.
It's Chris Evans. He does a great job, but I'm okay with that because it isn't Buzz. It isn't the Buzz Lightyear toy. It's another character.
Yeah. Would you have put Tim Allen?
No, I don't. I think you can tell Tim Allen's voice is getting on a bit now.
Yeah.
And I think this role you needed Captain America to do it. It's very much
right.
He's a character full of bravado, and he's a younger. I don't know how to explain it, but he's just a younger character. I think it would have been a strange fit for Tim Allen to do it because I think you'd always be referring it back to the toy,
right?
And I think that might have confused people even more because it's quite a difficult concept. Not difficult, but it's it's an out there concept in the first place. And
I
think
get
if you're
that.
getting Tim Allen in there, I think that's another barrier you have to overcome.
Yeah. No, I get how it's complicated because you've seen the toy version of him
Yeah.
go through 4 adventures in the real world. So yeah, I get that. Should I watch it on my own? Would that be weird?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. Why would it be weird? Would you feel shame watching it on your own?
Well, I'd be masturbating. No, but like,
in which case, no. Get everyone involved.
no, you know.
No, I genuinely think it's. I think it's probably going to sell more to people of possibly our age who grew up with the Toy Story films.
Mm-hmm. It looks great. It does look great.
It's a stunning looking film. Yeah, I just really I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I think if you're a fan of, it's just a really good sci-fi film. If nothing else, it's just a really
I love sci-fi, Stu.
Really good sci-fi film. Yeah, go check it out. If you're a fan of Toy Story, if you've got kids, try and get them to watch it, I suppose. But they may be asking you annoying questions throughout the whole thing.
That's fine, because if it's
if
it's a gateway film, like when it's going from kids films to more serious films, like there is those gateway movies, isn't there? It's like
it's
like Gremlins is a gateway into horror movies. You know, they're so those sort of films that open up. If this could open up more sci-fi films to a child, and
I think it could
down that route.
I think it could, and it could open up. It's almost like a gateway to time travel films as well, because they can be quite complex, can't they? When you're like talking about multiple timelines and how going forward or back affects the present, that kind of thing. So it could be a gateway into those types of films and narratives.
So you could watch the Terminator movies with your son now.
Yes, indeed we could.
Do you know what? I joke, but I watched Terminator when I was 8 years old. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Do you know what? I watched T2 before I watched Terminator. I did it in that order.
Did you? Interesting. Yeah. So how old would you have been?
What was that, 91? I read like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Because I would have watched it when it came on Sky. So I'm thinking like 12, 13, you know, once it done the cinema.
Old. Well old.
Oh, yeah. Not. How old are you?
Virgin adult. I was 8 when I watched Terminator 1.
Yeah. Okay.
And I remember the sex scene making me not really understand what's going on.
Yeah. That's how you got your education.
Yeah, that's why I'm like I am.
Sadly, I don't think Lightyear did particularly well at the box office.
Well, they probably stuck it on Disney Plus within a week of it being in the cinema, didn't they? No.
So I think it's currently up in the air whether we'll get a Lightyear 2, but they certainly open up for more Star Command adventures at the end. But yeah, I mean, but sadly, we're getting a Toy Story 5 before we get a Lightyear 2. And I think it should be the other way around, to be honest. But there we go. Yeah, great film. I wouldn't hear a bad word said about it.
That's good. You've sold me on it, Stu.
Good. And I hope we've sold other people on it too.
I don't want another Toy Story.
No, I don't think I do.
I think like 3 finished it so perfectly.
Yeah, should have ended at 3. That was the way to end it, like passing it on to another generation and just leave it there. But sadly not.
Flog that horse. Flog that dead horse.
Do you want to talk about what you've been watching with your family?
Well, I was.
It's an interesting one.
Well, I thought I might cut it because we were going to try and go a bit shorter. But no, I'm happy to talk about it quickly.
Yeah, let's just do it.
Well, we were talking about watching films at a young age.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
Of course.
One of my daughters has walked into the room. What would you like, darling?
Water.
What?
Water.
You do that to me.
I'm live to the nation at the moment. Off you go, because some people are weird.
Well, okay, we'll pixel her out. It's fine. You do that. I'll waffle.
Okay, you waffle more about Toy Story. Give me 10 seconds.
All right, mate. Whilst Jimmy does that, what shall I talk about? Yeah. Get rid of him there. Oh, good darn. Jesus, don't want full screen me. Jesus. what should I talk about? Let's talk about some news. Oh, okay. It's a shame Jimmy's not here for this. I'll start waffling and then Jimmy will come in, I'm sure. But I wanted to. I've got some Lego news, hot off the presses. There has been. Oh, he's back.
I'm excited to hear about the Lego though.
Lego news. Oh God. Oh, more. Oh, gee, oh, fucking hell. Sorry about that. Yeah, I've got some Star Wars Lego news.
I'm in.
I know. A new model has been announced. One of several new models that are going to come out for the summer period, I believe. But this is one of the spring sets that are coming out. And this year, of course, is the 40th? Yeah, 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. There's 98 more to come. So, Jimmy, I want you to have a look at this. This is a Executor Super Star Destroyer from Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
Let me get this up. Here we go. I want this. I've got £100 worth of Lego vouchers to spend.
Well, you just have another £400 to raise.
No. This is quite
60
reasonable.
quid.
Yeah, 60 quid. But I love the scale of this. Look, you've got little mini Star Destroyers. Obviously, that's the big one.
That's cool.
From Return of the Jedi. It's got a little commemorative plaque there. I think this is a great little model.
Yeah, that's very cool.
630 pieces. I think that would go well, probably next to my Luke training on Dagobah scene that I've got just over my shoulder. But yeah, loving the look of this. I love how the Star Destroyers kind of just clip onto it. The little micro builds of the Star Destroyers. Yeah, lovely little model. Coming out on May 1st. 60 quid. I think I'm going to get it.
That's good. Get it. If you've got 100 quid saved up, that's a lovely little build. And it looks quite intricate, which is nice.
Yeah, I like the models that kind of almost are display pieces. You know, I mean, I like the little stand on here. That's kind of what gets me going.
I know you love Lego, Stu. And it's another one. What's going on? No, where's Mummy? What do you want?
It's fine. We'll pick some out.
What do you want?
Water.
What do you want? I didn't push him that hard.
The authorities are beyond you.
Stu.
Yeah.
I know you love Lego. All three of them have poked their face in.
Live TV, people. That's what happens.
Just like, and now the rabbit's chewing my fucking microphone. This is ridiculous. What's going on, rabbit?
Oh dear. Chaos ensues. Little shit.
I know you like Lego, Stu.
Yes.
And we're all Lego fans. The wife's a massive
course.
Lego fan. We put our Lego bricking it out on the channel. If you haven't seen them, go and watch them.
Please do.
Have you ever thought about getting into model making?
No, I dabbled with it when I was younger, but the thing that puts me off is the painting. You know, the creating of the model is fine. You know, the gluing it together and the construction of it. I'm okay with that. But it's then I just imagine you'd spend like 40 hours doing that bit, and then you just. Well, to be quite honest, I'll be painting it like Benj paints a mug, like just smearing paint over it with my fists.
Yeah. I know what you mean, but you could get better at it if you practiced.
Well, there is that, but I don't know. Just Lego is just a fully contained model. Looks great. Just build it. Happy days.
No, you're right. They are beautiful, and I mean, this. Have you finished talking about that?
Yeah.
This leads me on to the next thing that obviously I was going to talk about before we go on to Ace Ventura.
Yes.
Is the one of the things that I did this week, which was a watch along with
yes.
We watched me and John Simmons Scale Modeler watched The Mandalorian Series 3 Episode 1.
Yes,
we
beautiful
did a
segue.
watch along. Thank you. We watched the show. We filmed ourselves watching it. Stuart edited it together.
Yep.
Released today.
Yep.
Good fun.
Mandalorian, cracking name.
Yeah, Renaissance Mandalorian. Go and check it out. But John Simmons, Scale Modeler, does scratch building, which always amazes me. Now we'll have John Simmons on the show at one point. I know he turned up at the window the other week, and we haven't edited that. We haven't cut that bit out yet.
We need to do that.
Yeah,
I need to do that. I should say.
We need to do that. But he is one of the best. He will say he's not, and he hates it when I say it. But he's one of the best model makers / model painters in the world. Like he is. There's no doubt about it. And he does things called scratch builds. Oh, there he is, look, drinking peppermint tea. He really didn't like that. But he does something called scratch builds where back in 1977, 1978, 1979, 80, when they were making the original Star Wars ships, they would get a load of models, tanks, aeroplanes, submarines, anything that was about, World War II, World War One, anything, and they'd build these ships out of all the different parts.
It's incredible, really, isn't it? How they do that.
It's amazing.
It's like a Frankenstein's monster of models. Yeah.
And what John and other people do when they're called scratch builds is they purchase those models, the original model kits, the super glue in there. I don't know how he does it. I do know how he does it because he's got a personality where when he wants something, he does it.
Right.
And nothing can distract him from doing it.
I think you do need. I think you do need to have a personality trait that certainly to get that good at anything. I think you do need to be so focused and determined, and I don't know, just have that like tunnel vision to be able to want to do it. Yeah. I don't personally. I don't have that. I would get too bored or probably most likely to get too frustrated too quickly, and then just think, oh fuck it.
Yeah,
I'm done. It takes me months to build. It took me months to build old Optimus up there, Optimus Prime. Yeah. So I have to be in the right frame of mind to do a Lego model. So I think you'd have to magnify that feeling when you're doing such an intricate kind of,
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, there you go. Well, that it leads us on to Mando, leads us on to the watch along that I did with John Simmons Scale Model, yes. And we'll put that out, and please do go and check that out if you want. The ramblings of two loonies about Mando, Series 3, Episode 1. But Stu, should we discuss Mando?
Obviously the watch along concept has been fantastic. I think you're doing your Star Trek ones; they're great. We've kind of transition that to the latest hot potato. That's the word of the week. Mandalorian, that's come back for Series 3. So these will continue as the series goes on. So look out for more of those videos. I think they're great. Good, they're great to watch, and we've had great feedback from those. So well done, Jimmy, for coming up with a good concept for once. Well done, mate.
Shut up. What about bird news?
That's true. He's two and yeah.
I'm none and none.
It's 5 for 2.
I'm none and none. Look, Series 3, Episode 1, Mando. Yeah, Mando. You watched it today. I watched it.
I did
about 4 days ago.
Yes. You gonna ask me what I think?
I am. What do you think?
No, I really enjoyed it. I watched the episode and then I edited up your video. I have been watching and catching up with Mando with Benj, but I realised when I was on holiday that, my God, we've got to get through season 2. Then in theory, you've got to do Book of Boba Fett before you then get onto series 3 of Mando. So I thought, oh my God, I'm just going to have to watch. I can't keep Jimmy waiting any longer. I need to watch episode 1 of season 3 and just get it done so I can edit the video.
You had watched Mando season 2 already, though, hadn't you?
I had, yeah, to be fair. But
Yeah.
And you alluded to this in the watch along that I'd completely forgotten what had happened.
Yeah.
Even in the Book of Boba Fett, I could not recall what happened at all. I didn't know where Mando was, where he was going, what his current mission was. And the previously on in episode 1 of season 3, kind of it went back to stuff from series 1, and I was thinking, oh, this doesn't really tell me anything, really. So it's quite a bit of a disconnect when I started watching it, thinking, oh, where the hell are we going to be? And then, you get that opening scene where you've got the Mandalorian, what they called, Ironmonger person. What's her name? The armorer. Sorry. Creating this beautiful Mandalorian helmet, and then we're kind of being treated to a foundling kind of ceremony, aren't we? Where they're getting their first helmet, where they put upon his head, and then this crocodile creature comes out. But I had no sense of where we were, when we were.
No. Well, did you notice that in our watch along, Stu?
I did.
Oh, this is the past.
Yeah.
We thought that was a young Mando.
Yeah. So it didn't do a great job of kind of telling you kind of where you were on the very outset of the episode. But I loved that opening scene. I thought it was great action piece. I loved the effects seem to have kind of taken I don't know if they're spending more money on it because it's been so successful. They're kind of like investing a bit more into it, but it looked great.
Yeah, the beast looked great.
It seemed to be, it was a nice, wide, open, well lit external shot, wasn't it? I don't think
lovely when stuff is well lit, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's just nice to see see the action. It makes a nice change. So that was kind of an overriding thought for the opening. It looked nice. I think you're spot on, Jim. Not a lot happened in that first episode. Really, did it? I mean,
I don't think so.
Mando went back to see Carl Weathers.
Apollo Creed. Yeah.
In the I forget what that planet is called, but it's the planet that featured in the first and second seasons.
I would say it, but I can't remember it.
No, but it's very affluent now. It's had quite a transition from when we saw it in season 1.
Yeah.
Now Apollo Creed is in charge. He's the magistrate, the high magistrate, as he keeps reminding everyone. And it's become this like really affluent kind of trading spot on the Outer Rim. So yeah, he's doing really well. He asks Mando to be his marshal, but Mando says no. I've got my own mission.
Yeah.
I took my helmet off once, and now I've been ostracized.
I've got to go and have a bath on my old planet.
Yeah, strange ways, those old Mandos.
Yeah. Well, this is the way.
But it just feels a bit odd that is kind of the main narrative thread holding this all together at the moment.
He's got to go and have a bath.
Yeah. So
yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed it because it was a very, and again, I'm stealing a lot from what you guys said, but I think you were spot on and kind of, you were aligned with what I was feeling. It's very much it's a feel good kind of show, isn't it? It's very.
It's family orientated, wasn't it? Like saying you can watch with your kids.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's easy to watch. It's fun. It's it's trying to be funny at times. It's a proper family watch. It's quite in contrast to Andor, which was like almost like Game of Thrones kind of political intrigue, wasn't it? Really, I mean, it's excellent. Some of my favorite Star Wars for a very long time.
Yeah.
So it's quite a contrast to go from that to this. But I think that's okay. I think there's room for both in Star Wars world. So I don't particularly see that as a stick to beat it with.
No,
I quite enjoyed the fact that it's just a fun lark.
Yeah, I agree, Stu. It was a fun lark. Nothing really happened.
5 stars.
The timing seemed off.
What do you mean by that? What you?
Things just happened in weird sort of ways.
Oh, okay.
So this is something that's happened. I don't know if you heard this, but Star Wars news. I don't know if it was Filoni or someone else close to Filoni who works on all of this Star Wars.
John Favreau.
It may have been Favreau, I'm not sure, but has come out and said, they've said,
Hi.
Grogu spent 2 years
Yes,
with
that
Luke
was Favreau.
Skywalker.
Yeah, you're
Was
spot
it
on.
Favreau, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to take that into account of when the hell that happened. That happened between series 2 and those 2 weird episodes of Book of Boba Fett when he got Grogu back. 2 years passed in that time period, which is kind of hard to. I bet if I went back and watched them, that wouldn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I bet you. And I bet you that's why they went back to Apollo Creed's planet, to give you a sense of time and place, and look what's happened here in that, which I think it did a good job of doing. You know, I got a sense that there's been some time has passed here since we've last been here.
Yeah.
I think that's why they went back, because there's no other reason apart from going to get that IG-11, to be honest.
Yeah. And I'll say, like,
bizarre.
Yeah, what I mean,
Just get a new one.
I say it in the watch along, didn't I? Like, did they not try and turn him on? They just stuck him up stuck his corpse on a plinth and put him up there. Like, when in the early Mandos, it felt like he was putting together a crew, and I was loving that. It felt like he was going to have Nick Nolte, the Ugnaught. It felt like he was getting IG, Gina Carano, Boba Fett, Bill Burr. Like, it felt like he was getting his crew together, and you were going to get like
18
like
Star
a
Wars.
Firefly. Well, more Firefly. You know, this crew going around doing
Saving
whatever
Mexican
they're doing.
villages.
Exactly. And all of them had their own backstories and different places they could do, and you could build all on that. And Baby Yoda, of course, and Grogu there as well. But instead,
Grogu.
They went down this route where they got rid of Grogu, and it was like, okay, that's his path done. They killed off IG at the end of the first series, and I was like, oh, that was a shame because he was a cool character. And they killed off Nick Nolte's Ugnaught, which was it Nick
Tragic.
Nolte? It was Nick.
It
Nolte,
was, yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah, which was sad as well. Like, you know, it's a bit higgledy-piggledy. I think there was simpler ways to do what they've done. And Bo-Katan, she had her. Sorry, I turned into Jeff Goldblum. Bo-Katan, she had her like crew.
Yeah.
At the end of series 2, and then suddenly she's on her own going, yeah, they all left me because of X, Y, Z. You go wave the dark saber around. You're like, what? Hang on. What? No, it didn't. That doesn't seem right. How it was. Like,
she's just lounging there on her throne.
On her own, with just droids.
Hanging out, brooding.
What was she doing? Who puts all their uniform and armor on and goes and sits on a throne? I'll tell you who. A loony. Prince Andrew. That's who does that.
That is, yeah. Mandalore is Epstein's Island. Confirmed. I know. I do. That is what I'm enjoying. What I'm really looking forward to in this series, though, is getting into the Mandalorian stuff.
Lore. The Mandalore.
Yeah, I hope they go deep on that and less on his Grogu trying to eat something. You know, I've kind of had enough. I've had my fill of Grogu.
He should have not come back. Should he? Like, I say that and I'll watch along. Like, he's in these scenes and you go, there's no need for him to be in this scene. He's doing nothing.
Yeah. He's selling merch is what he's doing.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's selling merch and he's giving you the odd sort of smirk going, ooh. And I laughed a lot when he was trying to cuddle the little Barton Fink or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
But ultimately, he should have stayed with Luke, and maybe at the end of the 3rd series when Mando was down and out, you have Grogu and Luke turn up. You know, like,
that'd be awesome. Like an game type.
It's not hard. TV's not hard.
That's why this looks so professional.
Right. But there you go. That's my thoughts on Mando, Stu.
Yeah. I think I align with much of that. I'm intrigued to see where it goes, and I'm happy it's back, and I shall look forward to each episode because I just love the fact that we're getting Star Wars. I know you alluded to the fact that there's too much Star Wars. Oh, there's not enough for me. Give me more. Yeah, I'm happy that there's loads of Star Wars.
Oh, do you know?
You've got to be.
That's what I said 2 years ago. Give me all the Star Wars you've got, and they did, and they're now choking me on it.
You'll fucking like it. Yep, you're having the autoerotic
Yes.
asphyxiation.
That said, I'll still say that about Star Trek.
Yeah.
Give me all the Star Trek you've got, please. I'm not choking on you yet.
No, and again, they are. Well, are they? As an outsider, it appears that you're getting lots of Star Trek.
There's been no films since the JJ ones. There's these TV shows, and they're all in different mediums, which has been interesting. You know, well, 3 live action, and there's been Prodigy, which is like the sort of CGI cartoon.
Yes.
There's the adult cartoon, which is Lower Decks, which ironically is really quite Star Trek-y, more so than Picard and Discovery, which is weird. But they all bring their merits. But what we have had come back is Star Trek Picard, Series 3, Episodes 1 and 2 are out. Episode 3 is out, Stu, and I haven't watched it. I'm here talking to you and the nation whilst it's hovering on my TV set, waiting to be watched.
I'm honoured.
You should be. I'm not watching that bald man to watch this bald man.
Yes. And again, you're doing watch-alongs for Picard as well. Picard. So
doing watch-alongs.
Go check those out because they're fantastic.
Really enjoying doing the watch-alongs. It's good fun. There I am with my glove. Oh,
he's nuts.
Look very similar to how I look now. It's bizarre.
It's funny that, isn't it? It's the same face.
Yeah, better hairstyle. But Star Trek, it is. I mean, Picard is so far. Episodes 1 and 2 have been lovely. They've been lovely, but they got me last year with episodes 1 and 2. Stu.
Yeah.
They were brilliant, and then it all fell off a cliff because various reasons: writing sloppy, storyline sloppy, wrong storylines for characters, and for me, the biggest mistake they did in last year's Star Trek season 2 was they set it on Earth in 2024, something like that. And when I watch sci-fi, I like to see the future or space. I don't need to see Earth.
No. It's escapism, isn't it? You want to escape from reality. You know, it's
now occasionally, like Next Gen or DS9, they would visit Earth, but it'd be one episode.
Yeah.
And it would be like in DS9, Quark and Rom and Nog, they're the Roswell aliens in one episode of DS9.
Oh, nice.
So they're in like 1959 or whenever it was. Their craft lands and that's them. Or as a brilliant episode of DS9 when I think they go to like 20, can't remember what it is, but they're involved in the Bell riots, which is after our time. You know, it's not now, it's the future, and the world's not a great place. Or First Contact when they go back and it's just before warp drive. You know, there's these points when they do it, but they don't go back to 2000. They don't go back to now and just talk about race riots and all the shit that's going on. Like Star Trek was always good for talking about issues.
Yeah.
But they do it on another planet.
Yeah.
Because
Transposing it to
the human race has gone beyond it. That was always the best thing about Star Trek, that they'd got rid of poverty and homelessness and everything. Prejudice, it's gone. Money's gone in Star Trek. Anyway, they're doing a good job with Star Trek 3, episodes 1 and 2, Picard. I'm enjoying it.
And that comes across in your watch-alongs. I can tell you're so enthusiastic.
Well, the big thing is the cast are back.
Yeah.
You know, last week, Worf came back.
Yeah, you were, yeah.
I popped big. Even though he cut off a Ferengi's head.
Sometimes you got to take care of business.
He was unarmed, Stu.
Oh, okay.
He was unarmed.
He's a Klingon. They're vicious, aren't they?
In Next Generation, Worf on a few times could have killed people and doesn't.
Right.
And Picard's always very proud of him. And another Klingon will go, that was so honourable for you doing that. But in Picard, new Picard, get the head.
But maybe there's have they explained a reason why he's doing that?
No, maybe they will. And I'm letting a lot of things go because the cast are back.
Yeah.
The cast
That's
are back.
fair. That's fair.
So I'm happy with it. But I just wanted to bring to attention some Star Trek news.
Yes, we've got a couple of bits of Star Trek news, actually. I picked one out as well for you. I didn't know if you
wonderful.
knew. Yes.
Well, the first one I was going to bring back was what I entitled Star Trek Movies Future is Cursed.
Yes. What's it about?
This is a quote from Chris Pine.
Yes.
I don't want to call him Kirk, Captain Kirk, because to me he's not Captain. He's not Kirk.
No, yeah, he's not. Yeah, only Shatner can be.
Yeah. Only Shatner can be Kirk. These were like when these came out, we hadn't had Star Trek for a while. When the JJ films came out, we hadn't had any Star Trek for a long time, and now there's a resurgence in it. So this lot can all go fuck itself. But when it came out, I was quite excited, and I watched it, and I was like, "Hey, he's doing a decent Kirk." And I thought Zachary Quinto was amazing as Spock, and the others did a good job. I liked Anton Yelchin particularly as Chekhov. But Star Trek 4, they did 3 Star Trek films with JJ, and that JJ, the Kelvin timeline, which is called, and they just can't seem to not get Star Trek 4 off the ground. They've had different writers, different directors. At one point, Quentin Tarantino was lined up.
Yes,
I was excited about that, Stu, because I love Tarantino, and I was like, "What the hell is he going to do?"
Can you imagine?
No. Oh, well, no. That's the exciting thing. I cannot even begin to imagine what it'd do.
Yeah.
If I had to, I'd say a shuttlecraft crew who leave the ship or get stranded somewhere, and they've got to do some weird stuff, and it's violent and weird and wonderful. Like, get that going. But that got cancelled, and there was originally going to be one with Kirk and the guy who played his father in the first Star Trek film, which was Chris Hemsworth. But obviously, after Star Trek, what was the first one called? Star Trek.
It's just Star Trek, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, I think.
And then it was
not the Wrath of Khan. It was Khan. It was Star Trek.
What was it called?
The third one was Beyond.
Was there a third one?
Yeah, with Khan, with Sherlock Holmes playing Khan.
I thought that was 2.
No, it's 3. Star Trek, the first
You're the
one.
expert.
The first one, the first Star Trek has RoboCop as the baddie. Peter Weller, who's a member of Federation.
Yes.
And hang on, no, he's in the third one because Sherlock crushes his head. Who's the baddie in the first one? Nero, Romulan. It's Eric Bana, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nero. Then in the second one, it's Sherlock, and he crushes RoboCop's head. And the third one is Idris Elba.
Yes.
The fourth one was going to have Thor. I love using characters' names from other films.
Well, no, we get you. We know exactly who you mean. Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth was going to be, he is his dad. And they were going to do a time travel. But because of, I think because of how well the Thor and the Marvel films has done, he just became too expensive. It became too expensive to get all of these. Well, not only him, Chris Pine had been in Wonder Woman and whatnot. Zoe Saldana.
In every major, massive,
right,
box office breaking franchise.
Yeah. Then Quinto, he's doing his thing. And Anton Yelchin passed away. Did he run himself over?
Yes, I believe he did. Almost like a Hawkeye. I'm doing it now. Hawkeye incident. But I'm not laughing because of the situation. I'm like
Brian Harvey from East 17. Too many people are getting involved in that. So, do you know what though? I can see how it can happen because the other day I left my handbrake off my car, and if you get out your car and it starts to roll, your first thought is not let's get in the car and pull the handbrake up. It's let's get behind it and stop it.
Yeah,
that's just the first thing. Anyway, so it's such a mess. So we don't know if we're going to get it. And Captain Kirk.
Him from Wonder Woman.
Chris Pine said it's cursed.
Yeah.
Doesn't think it's going to happen. There's your Star Trek news, Stu.
Oh, no. Well, I've got more. Did you
Give me-
know Discovery is finishing on season 5? Did you know this?
I didn't know this, no.
Yeah, it's ending. I'm presuming, because you're not a massive fan of Discovery, are you?
I've watched it all, though.
Have you?
Star Trek. Yeah, Star
Oh,
Trek.
okay.
I'm not going to not watch it.
Well, let me get the story up because let me get my facts straight for you.
Star Trek Discovery had so many good chances to be good.
I mean, I got the impression that certainly the first series was very well regarded.
I raved about it, didn't I?
Yeah.
Having Jason Isaac as that captain. Have you watched Star Trek Discovery season 1?
No.
Like, I'd say go and watch it. I thought it was great fun, really good fun, very different. But because we hadn't had TV Star Trek for so long, I was so excited and I got caught up. And then again, it just fell off a cliff.
Well, season 5 is going to be the end, which is going to arrive in early 2024. I don't know what season we're on now.
4. We've had 4 seasons.
Right. It's going to end its 65 episode run with the completion of season 5 in early 2024. Paramount Plus revealed today. The studio is planning to celebrate the show in the lead up to season 5 with year-long celebrations and appearances at key events in markets around the world, according to a press release. So, okay, it's not kind of going out with the whimper. Then they're making a show of it. So. Principal photography is almost complete, sources tell IGN, and there's still some additional filming to be done for the final season. So it's almost like it's in the can, but just a few reshoots maybe to do. So it kind of, I don't know, Discovery. It's well, I don't know. I'm not the expert. It's like you say, it sounds like it had a chance, just didn't fulfill that potential. Maybe, Jimmy, is that what you're saying? Almost.
Do you know what I think the biggest problem? 2 biggest problems with it. One is that they got 10 episodes to tell a story which you could have done in like 2 or 3.
Right. Okay. Again, we've said that before, didn't we? Stretching things out.
Yeah. Whereas in Next Gen and Voyager and Deep Space Nine, even Voyager and Deep Space Nine had their overarching stories. You got all these individual episodes where you got to know different characters.
Yeah.
Shoot, Star Trek Discovery, I couldn't name all the members of the bridge crew. Even now, I can't name the crew because I don't feel like I know them. I haven't seen an episode about the helmspeople. I can't name them, Stu, which is mad because I'm pretty good for names. I know I list off people's
with Star Trek name, you're reeling off characters. Yeah. Pling Plong Blue. He was whatever.
He was a great character, but like no one got their individual stories. In Next Gen, you'd have like a Geordie episode or a Data episode.
Yes, you're right.
You haven't got that in these 10 episode arcs.
No. That's always what I'm not I was never a massive Star Trek fan. I enjoyed Next Gen. It had its moments for me, and I really did enjoy that at times. But what I always loved about Star Next Gen and the original series, when that had like a run in the 90s on BBC Two, was just like the individual episodes, like the Monster of the Week. Here's this week's episode. Like you say, it features, I don't know, Kirk trying to date this alien, and repeat that week after week. But exactly what you're saying. It featured a crew member there was a single scenario that they had to solve or overcome, and then they kind of moved on. Is it right to say there was like a general story arc that happened each season?
Well, with the original series was just it's the 5-year mission, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Next Generation didn't have an overall.
Okay.
DS9 did, and that's why it's got better now. It's on streaming because you can watch it, and You've got the whole Dominion War thing, but still, there's individual episodes.
Yeah.
I could tell you my favorite episode of Next Gen, Voyager, DS9. I could tell you my favorite episodes of Discovery and even Picard, and that, like, you can't pick out these. It's like Buffy and Angel, you know, for me as well. Those they had overarching storylines, but you can still have your favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Now, Strange New Worlds is doing that. They're having individual episodes. They're trying to do that and trying to bring that thing back, and that's better because you are getting a chance to know the individual characters more. And what's weird is, I remember when they started doing this 10-episode film, and I loved it. I was so excited. I would sell it to people. I would say, oh my God, it's like a 10-episode film. It's everything you want. You know, you get everything, you know. And even Discovery first season, I was like, it's great. It's a 10-episode film. But when they run out of ideas, a 10-episode film is awful.
Yeah. Or if that one idea for that whole season is bad, then you got to suffer through it for 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got a throwaway episode, doesn't matter. Next week might be good.
That's it, right? That is it. There was always something new coming. I know it's harder for writers to do, but I heard the guys at Red Letter Media, the YouTube channel which I watched, they were like, it's dead, you know, episodic TV, dead. Like, who's doing it? I know Strange New Worlds are trying to do it, but
funny enough, I think, having rewatched series 1 of Mando, there was a lot of Mando episodes that were almost like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's right. What's Mando's mission this week? Oh, it's to break out these people from this starship.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
And I found that quite refreshing. So I think there's still a drive for some shows to do that.
I agree. My two favorite episodes probably of Mando. One is season 1 with the prison breakout.
Yes.
With Bill Burr in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my other one was when he gets Bill Burr again, and they're trying to get into the Imperial base to get something. And there's the great scene where Mando is sat down with Bill Burr and the guy who plays the Night King from Game of Thrones, and they have that wonderful, intense sort of Breaking Bad scenario where he's like, "Yeah, a lot of my friends died on that. Yes, but it was for the greater good." You know, that sort of thing. Like, shoots him. You know. Brilliant. But you're right, they're those one-offs, and occasionally I throw those things in. More of that, please.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But Star Trek Discovery, I hope the last series is good. There's been good actors in it. All the actors are good, and there's been some good characters like Saru. I love Doug Jones, Michael Burnham. That rabbit's fucking chewed through this.
I did warn you.
Am I tinny?
No. But you were earlier, weren't you? When we first started, you sound fine. You sound normal.
The microphone. Sorry, I shouldn't let people see how the sausage is made.
No.
Don't, if you get a rabbit, don't let it near wires.
Yes, they'll have you.
Yeah. So Star Trek Discovery season 5. Yeah, I hope it's good. As I say, Doug Jones is great. Sonequa, who plays Michael Burnham's great. Michelle Yeoh was good at points. Yeah. Just
there we go.
Make it simpler. Do individual stories.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't worry about the special effects so much.
No, exactly. Although the special effects in Mando were particularly good. Just saying. And it added something to it. So I'm not with Jimmy on that. I'm saying pump all your money in your special effects, please.
No.
Screw the writing.
Pump your money into writers, storyline, and script.
Yeah. Right. It's time for hot takes. Yeah, it's time for hot takes. Well, let's just transition. I'm not going to explain it. It is hot takes. Here we go. Welcome to this week's episode of Hot Takes. Jimmy, you've selected this one. And I didn't know this. I'd heard whisperings when I was in the forest, of the good forest, the Centre Parks. You know, you kind of get a sense of what's going on your social media. And this trailer that we're going to show you released, and it seemed to get some good buzz.
It's getting some
I don't
good
know
buzz,
why.
and it's
I don't know
getting
why.
some controversy as well.
Is it?
Yeah, and you know that's what I'm all about tonight, Stu. Controversy to try and get those clicks and subs.
You're such a whore.
Don't forget to subscribe if you're enjoying this or not enjoying it. Just subscribe. You know,
Yeah.
just troll us.
Even if you give us a thumbs down, it's all good for us.
It's all good.
So,
what I've brought is the Disney live adaptation, even though there's been one, of Peter Pan and Wendy.
Of course. I was thinking, what are you talking about? But Hook.
Well, and Pan.
Pan? What's Pan?
Pan is one of the... came out way after Hook.
Jason
Jason Isaacs.
In Disney, is it? Oh, anyway.
Jason Isaacs from
yes, he's
Harry
Captain
Potter
Hook.
and Star Trek. He's Hook and he plays their father.
Right.
Which is quite a traditional thing, that he's the dad and Hook. From like, I think when they do like plays or pantomimes, you know, it's the same.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's interesting. But yeah, this is Peter Pan and Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
So is this along the similar lines of, you know, The Lion King and Cinderella and Aladdin, a live adaptation of Peter Pan?
Yeah. Disney trying to not come up with anything original and just getting some actors to do something they've already done.
They're continuing to plumb that well, are they?
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. This appears to be a Disney Plus release. So
no cinema.
I don't want to say it's not coming to the cinema, but it's definitely, you know, it feels like I'm pretty sure it's premiering on Disney Plus. Whether it's Disney Plus and the cinema, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to say. But certainly it's coming to Disney Plus.
Saves us some money, Stu.
Happy days. And you know I'm all about saving some cash. The tight bastard that I am. Right. Let's get this up on screen.
Get out.
And let's absorb Peter Pan and Wendy, the official trailer. Let's do this.
Tell me.
That's buffering. Happy days. Jesus. Apologies for my rubbish internet.
Now, I haven't watched this trailer yet, Stu.
Okay. Let me get
Have you?
No, not at all.
I'm quite excited about it.
I'm not. How do you feel about Pan? I'm not a massive Peter Pan, as in the story. I'm like, it's a bit dull to me.
I loved Hook.
Yeah.
The Pan film I thought was okay, but I agree. Yeah, it's been done. Like, do something else.
Well, let's watch the trailer. Okay.
Tell me. How did you come to Neverland?
Michael! John! Are you
Lost Boys?
Every last one of us.
But you're not all boys. So? What is this place? It's home.
Peter found it. Just like he found all of us.
It's like he found me. Peter Pan?
Were you expecting someone else?
What do you say, boys? You ready for an adventure? It looks very far away.
It's closer than you think.
There! Look!
What is it that you're afraid of, my love?
Perhaps I don't want to grow up.
Hold the past in your heart, but where you go from here, it's up to you.
Wendy, Moira, Angela, darling. Where is Peter Pan?
Who's playing Hook? Who's playing Hook?
I don't know, but that looks a lot of crap, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, Lost Boys. But you're not all boys. So... Oh,
That's not even progressive. I was chatting to my wife about this. It's like she's a lover of Disney and Peter Pan, and she's the original point of Peter bringing Wendy to the Lost Boys was to be that sensible motherly figure who could help them grow up. That was the idea, that she encouraged them to grow up as people and not be boys, not be idiots. And they say in the book and the films, like, why is there only boys here, no girls? And Peter says, because girls aren't stupid enough to fall out of prams and get lost. So why do this? There's Tiger Lily, and there's Indians in there, Native American Indians. There's fairies. There's mermaids. If you want more girls in it, cool. Why put them in the Lost Boys?
Jude Law is Captain Hook. It was Jude Law.
Okay, well, good actor.
I don't
Jim
know.
Gaffigan as Smee. I love Jim Gaffigan.
No, it's just not for me, to be honest. I'm not a fan of Pan. Can you better Hook? I know Hook gets mixed reviews, and not a lot of people like Hook, but I think it's Camp Spielberg at some of his like early 90s best, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. No, he's the best Hook. Dustin Hoffman is unrecognizable as Hook. Like, he's so good as Hook. Even like Jason Isaacs. Maybe it's because he's our Hook.
Yeah,
maybe.
That could be a big thing, big part of it. Yeah, you have certain characters that define a generation, like your Batmans or whatever. Perhaps, Hoffman is our Hook. But also, I would say Robin Williams is my Peter Pan, albeit in his probably 50s at that point. But still, no.
That kid didn't look good as Peter Pan, did he? He didn't look cocky enough.
No. Alexander Maloney. What's he been in? Not a lot.
Did the special effects look? The special effects look kind of.
It looked
good.
alright. It looked like Disney. It looked like a Disney film. It looked like they'd pumped some money into it, and but I don't know. It's another one of those rehashes, remakes, whatever you want to call it. That
Stu, they
what's the point? Quite frankly, just go and watch the cartoon.
That's it. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care about art. They don't care about telling original stories. They don't care about creating a phenomenon. Like, they don't give a shit. It's just about what can we keep bringing on to keep people signed up to the channel. And I get it. That's business.
Yeah, but that's the trouble. It's almost like an investment choice, not an artistic choice, isn't it?
Correct. That has gone since, that went a long time ago. That went in the 80s. And there's some people that think that the 80s was crap. But I've heard Tarantino talking about how the 70s was amazing. That's when they were doing all original films. And the 80s, it sort of went. But fuck it. There's not a lot I disagree with Tarantino on, but I think that's fucking bullshit, because the 80s produced some of the best films of all time. But now, you're sort of waiting for a Tarantino movie to come out, or just something original, maybe a Chris Nolan film, or that film that I reviewed last week, Everything Everywhere All at Once, amazing. Just something original, different. That's why I really loved, I can't remember his name, the South African director who did Chappie and District 9.
Yeah. Oh, Blomkamp? Is it Blomkamp?
I think it is, yeah.
Blomkamp.
And Elysium was decent, but it seemed like he went a bit too much down the sort of Hollywood route. But a film that you go, whoa, I haven't seen that thing before.
Yeah.
Peter Pan, I've seen about 5 times.
Yeah. I agree in that, it always feels like it's kind of decreasing in quality each time as well. It's like a photocopy. It just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And ultimately, it's a photocopy of your ass. So it's of no real value anyway.
Yeah. And I know people are complaining because, like, Tinkerbell is, I think she's played by a black lady. And
I have no issue with that. Like, I've got no issue with Ariel being black. It's
no.
So what?
That's what I said the same thing to my wife earlier. Like, But maybe that's because I don't care about these franchises.
True.
Right? If they suddenly did a Luke Skywalker,
Yes,
who
I
was
was going to go exactly there.
then I might go, well, that's what? No, that's
Mm.
not. No, he's a white guy. Like, that's it. Or
That's an
or if they
interesting.
brought out Beverly Hills Cop with
Excuse me.
you know, with Justin Bieber playing Axel Foley, I'd be furious. That's said. Now I'm thinking about it, I can see that happening.
Yeah, I know exactly. I'm sure that's been planned right now.
But
So, there we go.
cartoons doesn't really bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. But I agree. Yeah, there's no need for any sort of issues with that, other than who cares? Another Peter Pan film.
Yeah, that was Peter Pan and Wendy. That's a rubbish name as well. Peter Pan and Wendy.
What would you have called it?
Peter Pan.
Or Wendy.
But if you're remaking the original and the original was called Peter Pan, why are you changing the name?
Yeah. So Hook was more like a sequel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had Peter Pan, and this one's about Hook. Call it Hook. Peter Pan and Wendy. Oh, I've got to get Wendy in there. Wendy's of equal value. You know, it feels like it's another attempt at wokeism. I don't know.
Or do a sequel to Peter Pan called Wendy. So that's between Peter Pan and Hook. So that's a story that Wendy does in the middle of those two films.
Something different. Ultimately, I guess that's all we want, isn't it? Just some originality.
Yes, please.
That was Peter Pan and Wendy, and that was our hot take. I'm just going to transition out with.
And that's why I did the thumbs up.
Video. Sorry. There we go. Smooth. Right. It's now time for our and finally story. Let's wrap the show up. Okay, let's do this. So here we go. I've got a new story for you. So let's go into and finally. Feels weird doing another sting so soon, but that's how it's gone. There we go. And finally, Jimmy the Saint.
Yes.
This is an interesting one. An interesting story. I don't know what I'm going to say.
I want to hear it. I'm excited by it.
In typical Renaissance men style, it's kind of got a rude edge to it. You know, I like if something's a bit bawdy, tends to catch my eye. So
damn right.
This is from Lad Bible, a great establishment of providing news, almost as good as profound and well loved as hot potatoes. A sperm extraction machine invented for men who are too embarrassed to masturbate in hospitals. Firstly, why are you too embarrassed? Secondly, why are you masturbating in a hospital? That's a bit weird, surely, unless it's for medical reasons, which this is, thankfully. Thankfully.
Well, but third of all, Stu,
God.
I don't know a man in the world who wouldn't want this. So you're marketing it to hospitals where how many are they going to buy? Because how many are you going to use? Surely you want to sell one to every house in the nation.
I know. Look at that. It's not particularly appealing, is it? I mean, it's just a glory hole, isn't it? Really, that's what I'm seeing.
That looks like most I've seen.
Yeah. But let's give some context behind this. And the article goes on to immediately state that for some people, masturbation is difficult, both to do and to discuss. Not on this show. We find both quite easy.
Yeah. And I think men discuss it with other men loads.
Of course they do. While some men are never more comfortable than getting their little fella out for a good time, others are a bit more timid, which I guess is fair enough. And this kind of anxiety is magnified tenfold when they have to drop trowel in a strange setting. But help is at hand, so to speak. If you've ever found yourself at a donor centre, so we are talking, giving some kind of specimen to whoever it may be, just a random on the street. If you ever found yourself at a donor centre looking to offer a bit of yourself into the world, you may have noticed that the sanitised setting of a medical room isn't quite the mojo starter you might have thought. Speak for yourself. So it can be a little tricky to get yourself ready for action. Some boffins over in China have come up with a genius way of removing every ounce of embarrassment. It's like they're milking you, isn't it?
Yeah.
A robot vagina. Brought to you by the good people at Jiangsu Sangui. The device essentially mimics a real vagina, making the sperm donor more comfortable than they otherwise would be if they were left to sort themselves out with a couple of dirty mags. So for those listening to the podcast, how would you describe that? It's like a rubber...
Cubert.
Like... Yes.
A purple... Imagine if someone has got a purple cubert and shoved their face through a hole.
Yeah, imagine Cubert is sucking you off, for want of a better term.
Imagine Cubert as the Gimp in Pulp Fiction. He's been sellotaped to a wall on one side.
Yeah, I think you'll agree we have a way with words. Words come alive on the Renaissance Men. But yeah, it's basically a tube that you obviously insert your implement, and I guess it comes complete with a massage pipe. Massage pipe. That's variable speeds, pressure, and temperature, as well as an adjustable height to meet the requirements of the end user. Oh, and an isolation pad to capture your deposit.
Whose job is it to clean it, Stu? That's the biggest question, because do you know what? Men are dirty. Men are dirty. That's one. I think that's a big thing that separates men and women and anything in between. Cisgender men are dirty, and they'll stick their willies in anything. Yeah.
They'll
go, it has been cleaned, trust me, and they'll go, I don't care. But who is the person cleaning it?
Yeah, some poor sod, isn't it? He's probably on minimum wage. Poor sod. My heart goes out to you. For those collecting what do they call it? I can't remember now. The collection kit, whatever it was.
Well, imagine it. They're all waiting. Like, there's a new bit of kit coming into the hospital. Oh, what is it? A new MRI? A new CT scan?
Oh, thank God we've got a new bed. Desperate for new beds.
No. It's a cocksucker. It's a purple cocksucker. A Cubert cocksucker. Marion, Jeff, can you be in charge of keeping it clean?
Some poor sod of a porter has to do that job. For which I salute you.
Next time you're in the hospital that has one of these, you just look for the saddest man in there, and he'll be the one whose job it is to buff spuff off of that thing.
There we go. Renaissance Men 168 is in the books. Thank you, Jimmy, for your time this evening.
Thank you, Stu.
We finished a bit. We were trying to finish a bit earlier, and we've done that. We've succeeded. It's not 9:30, and it usually is, but so we're all right.
I've had a lovely time, Stu. I didn't need to finish early. I think we just said we've done some longies. Let's do a short one. Let's give people a night off. They can just enjoy us for an hour and 59 minutes.
Yeah, there we go. A bit too much meat there, Jimmy, in the sausage. But
forgive.
Yeah. Right. Let's acknowledge those in the chat. Sorry, Neil. Neil J. He put a question right at the end, and I forgot to kind of answer it. Lego probably holds its value better than models. I don't know. I guess it depends on the quality of how the model is made. That probably affects the value, surely.
100%. If you get a John Simmons scale modeling model, he's put it together. He's probably added bits. He's painted it to the highest level, like some of the other model makers.
Indeed.
Suddenly, your model goes from being purchased for 250 quid to being worth thousands when John does them. You know, I've got a Starbug that he did for me for my wedding gift, which I think cost a couple of £100 as a model, but a John Simmons original. That said, most model makers aren't very good. You know, you sort of do it, and what you're going to do, just buy the model, put it on your side. But Lego, take apart, put it together, take apart. So yeah, both valid points, Stu.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, if the model was a Benjamin G original, then you know, you're lucky if the bin man allow it. To be honest, I'm sorry, Benj, if you're listening to this when you're 30. I did love you, honestly.
I'm sure you're better at Lego now.
Yeah. Ben White joined us. Thank you, Ben. Neil J, obviously. Carl Meyer. Thank you, Carl. Roggy joined us. Side Salad. Lovely Side Salad joined us. Thank you, Side Salad.
Side Salad will be on the show in hopefully this year. Well, he will be
Yes.
this year.
Yes.
Voice actor extraordinaire.
Yes. Who else? Lord Doolan, of course, joined us. Roggy, Holly, and yeah, I think that is it. So thank you for joining us live. If you're watching this or listening to this on demand, don't forget to
like, subscribe, comment.
Yeah, I suppose so. Even if you've listened to the podcast, come over to YouTube and give us a like.
Subscribe on YouTube. Yeah. That's what we want. We love them.
Yeah, we do. We do love them. Yeah, that's all I've got on my outro. So all that's left for me to say is until next time, please take care and goodbye. Bye. Bye.